can see our flag out there. Or if you want to look at each other's vest, you also have flags there. All right, we're ready. Hey.
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Great job. You guys are so cute. All right. So everybody, this is our Daisy troop, and they've been working on doing their animal journey for the last, I'd say, 15, 16 weeks for their meetings that they've been doing. They've been learning all about animals. I know, it's been a lot, right? I'd say about that. You picked the best number. Well, we've been working on different things about different animals, and we actually have their mural that they started through their first journey where they started learning about robins and cheetahs and lions and all kinds of other animals. So after their presentation, you can look at their little mural. But right now, what we're going to do is get started on their project where what they're going to do is make you aware of how to care for pets. So that way you know how to care for your pets at home. So, the first thing you have to do when you get a new pet is take them to the vet. So girls, what are some things you do when you take your animals to the vet? KK's going to pretend to be our veterinarian, and then Julie's also going to be helping to help KK out. So what are some things you do at the veterinarian's office? Check his eyes. So check his eyes. What else? What kind of shots do our pets get sometimes? Their baby shots. Yeah, so they get shot sometimes. What are some other things a veterinarian checks? Their heart. Yeah. How do you check the puppy's heart? And what are you checking for? Its heartbeat? Yeah. Make sure it sounds good. So if their heartbeat sounds good, what else do you check? What else do you check? Their blood pressure. Sometimes they check their blood pressure. So you guys looked at their eyes. What else do you look at? What else do you look at, Julie? Make sure they have a good temperature, just like kids. You got to check the temperature too, right? What about noses? Do they check their noses? What do they look for with the nose to make sure it's? Yeah, because that shows good health if they have a nice moist nose, right? What are some other things they do?
They clip their nails.
Why do they clip their nails?
So they're not very long and sharp.
Right, because it's hard to do that at home, huh?
It pokes them.
Right. Great job. So Julie, why don't you take us on the next thing? After we go to our best visit, which we do regularly, just like with kiddos for our wellness check, what's some things that we regularly do at home? What is Faith going to show us?
Faith will show you how to feed your animals.
Oh, right. So Faith, show us what's the first thing that we do.
First, you make sure you have the rest. You feed them two or one time a day.
Just depending on the pet, right? So would you feed a small pet the same amount that you feed a big pet? No, because just like kids being smaller, you need less food than an adult, right? So if you have a little doggy this big, you feed it how much? Just a little bit, right? Now what if you have a big old full-grown husky like that? You feed a lot, right? So we have to make sure we're feeding them the right amount as possible, right? So what are some other things that we also have to make sure that we're feeding our pet?
Always have water. They can get thirsty too.
Just like us, they get thirsty too. Good job, Faith.
Anything else?
especially kitty cats, they like milk.
Maybe my dogs maybe get milk too. Like maybe when they're born from their mother, dogs.
Very good point. She's talking about how puppies, whenever they're first born, they rely on their mommy's milk. Great job. We didn't even cover that, Julie. Great job. So now that we've fed them, what's the next thing that we always have to do because nature happens, right?
After you feed your dog, you always have to take them off on a walk, and Haley will show you all that.
So that's how you kind of sort of put it on a stuffed animal. So tell everybody what you do first. Haley, what's the first thing you do?
First, look for your leash and make sure it's all tight, and make sure it's not loose, because that could happen. Once it did happen in my neighborhood.
And what happens if it's too loose?
You might lose your dog, or it might run off. And if it's a highly trained dog, you might not have to have a leash, because my papa has a really good dog, and when you tell it to come, it will like actually come. And they just don't go on a walk.
Because he's what? Really trained, you said, right? Yeah.
And he's only, is it 3 or 4?
Max is 2.
2 years old.
That's good. So now that you've got the collar and the leash, what are some things that we have to worry about with safety with walking our pets?
Don't just go on your sidewalk and just go outside and walk on your sidewalk. Watch for bikes and like animals, so your puppy doesn't actually chase the animals. Because if you don't watch out, you might lose your puppy, because sometimes you get like shocked and you just find something like when the power goes off, like snap.
Okay, so we talked about watching out for bites, staying on your sidewalk. What is another thing you look out for that has 4 wheels? Okay, what's the other thing that you look out for that has 4 wheels instead of 2? Usually driving through the neighborhood, you look out for?
Only cars. Some would very close to the sidewalk, and some people don't have a sidewalk, so they go on the road, like very close to the road.
So you want to look out for those cars too. So now what happens if you're traveling around the neighborhood, walking your dog, and they do a number 2? Do you just leave the poopy there for your neighbors?
No.
What do you do?
But make sure before you go, you bring a little bag. Your little bag with you.
And what do you, that's okay, you don't have to take it out, Haley. What do you do with it? You poop or scoop with your bag? So that way you can throw it away when you get home, huh? So, okay. So Julie, now that Haley's walked our dog, what's the next thing that we need to worry about doing?
After you walk your dog, you need to give it a bath, because fleas could just jump right on. And Emma will be showing you all that.
So Emma, what do we do to get our dog taking a nice good bath? What's the first thing you would do? First, we're going to fill up our tub with water, right? We're going to put our puppy in there. And then we get our soap, right? So sometimes you might need what kind of soap in order to, we got our special soap. What kind of soap is that sometimes you have to use on dogs? Flea soap. And that's to do what? Get rid of the fleas or prevent them from ever coming, right? Yeah. So whenever you're soaping your dog, do you ever have to make sure that you're not getting any soap in his eyes? Because it burns just like if you got soap in your eyes too, right? So you want to make sure you're not soaping around their eyes, being very gentle on their head. So after you get them nice and soaped up, what do you do next? Rinse them. Really good. Make sure all the soap's off, right? And then what do you do next? Brian, what do you use to dry your puppy with? A towel. What do you have to watch out for? They shake all the water off, so you have to be careful that you don't get wet too, huh?
That's what I do.
Right. You gotta hurry up and get that towel to where it's covering them, right? So that way you can shake them real good.
But not on his eyes.
Right.
This is what me and Daddy do. When my dog comes out the back, he like keeps the blanket in front of us. We like
keep them clean in between baths. So what do we do to keep them clean in between baths?
After baths, you would need to brush the hair of your girl dog or boy, to make sure it's nice and smooth instead of all crinkly and fuzzy.
So
And
let Riley teach them how to do that.
Riley will be showing us how to do that.
Right. So Riley, what do you have with you?
A brush and some spray.
A brush and some spray. So what do you do with your
Sit down, Madison, come to your spot. It's almost your turn.
So you brush it all over. So why do you brush your puppy all over, Riley?
That way you won't get all frizzy.
No frizzes. What else? What else happens to hair when we don't brush it? Knots, right? Even our dogs don't want knots in their hair. But why do we brush them? Because in the winter they do what? They grow extra hair. So in the summer, why would we brush their hair off?
So you won't get much from our hair.
Right, because in the summer it's hot. So all that extra hair, we want to try and get rid of them so that they're not so hot, right? And if you brush your doggy's hair often, is it going to be silky and smooth? As you talked about not having the frizzies. What's something else you can do to your dog to keep them smelling nice in between baths? You can use your freshening spray, right? Just to keep your dog smelling good in between baths. Let's not spray it on Haley's puppy because we don't want any chemicals on her puppy, okay? Just because she might snuggle with that at night. So is that how you keep your puppy's hair looking good? Yeah? All right, Julie. So now that we've been keeping up with our puppy's hair, what's something that we can do with our pet to keep it happy?
You can train it. And when you train it, you can give them treats after you do it right. And sorry, not all.
You're shy.
Samari will show you how to train your dog. You can train a dog to put a ball on their nose and
How would they put their ball in their nose? Can you show them using your puppy?
yeah.
How would you do that?
You can stand it up and you can almost they can stand up and they can put it on their nose.
Right, and some dogs can hold it for really long times before you can tell them you can have it. So if they hold it on their nose for a while and they do what you tell it, what would you do to reward your puppy?
Give them a treat.
You would give them a treat, right? To show them that they're doing what you're asking, right? What are some other things you could train your puppy to do?
Sit down through a balloon.
She wants him to jump through a flaming hoop of fire, but you know, we're not gonna have that going on in class today, right?
No.
What else would your puppy do you could train him to do? Yes, some dogs like to walk on their hind legs like people, right? And do little dances. What else? High five, right? 'Cause you can train your puppy to high five you, which is kind of fun. So why would you go through and train your puppy to do all that fun stuff?
So we can learn how to do such.
Another great thing to teach them is how to sit. Why would you train them to sit?
So every time sometimes when I give them
Right, that's a good reason. So that way they're also well behaved, right? Because we want our puppies to be well behaved. Keep them happy because all these great things that we give them treats for, don't you think that makes them happy just like when you get treats too? Yeah, we like our treats, right? Great, because training leads to some of the things that we do for playing. So can you show us some of the things that we do to play with our puppies? Good.
After you train your dog, you have to play with your dog so it can have fun. And then Madison will be showing you all that.
So what are some things that you do to play with your dog, Madison? Look, we have our puppy right here. What are some things you can do if you had a ball? What would you do with this? Put it play fetch? Yeah. What about if you had a toy like this? What are some things you could do with your puppy? Puppies, hold on to this area. Puppies like to play tug of war. They like to bite on it and see if they can hold on to it, right? Try this in. Plus puppies like what? Squeaky toys. They like their squeaky toys, right? What are some other things you could do to play with your puppy? You wanna make them a little bit? You're just gonna take your puppy, and part of the training is to roll over and play dead, just because that's a fun little trick, but they also like to do that, to where it can be a fun little game to where they can roll over, play dead. Or, how about chase? Do dogs like to chase you? Or you can chase your puppy? Yeah. That's something fun that you can do with your dog, right? Right. Anything else that you guys can think of to play with your puppy? Yes, you could exercise with them. What kind of exercise would you do with your puppy? Run with them. What did you have, Emma? I saw your hand. What would you do?
Roll over and then you can rub their belly.
Ooh, dogs love belly rubs, huh? Yeah. So all of these things keep your dog what? Healthy and strong. And what's another thing? Happy, right? Very healthy.
All these things keep your puppy strong, healthy, and playful.
Great job, Julie. So that concludes our demonstration on how to care for your pets.